Tiny soldiers on the table march in line. Painted shields and swords, they shine so fine. Dice roll like thunder sealing fate. In this battle of ours, let's not be late.
Hello again, everybody. This is Derek, and I am coming back at you with another Wargaming and miniature video. And in today's video, we're going to continue on with my 15mm Napoleonic project update for Marshals and Generals. All right, so this is going to be a two-part video, mainly because I don't want this is the standard update style video, and then I'm going to be doing a second video that I'm going to be reviewing the rules that I am writing, mainly going over like a high level summary of the rules, and maybe live with you on camera working through some of the ideas. All right, so there's a 4 battalions that I was able to finish. These are all of the Landwehr from Hanover, which is part of Best's brigade. You got the Lüneburg, Osterode, Verden, and Munden brigades or battalions. And so this one here should be the Verden battalion. And all these battalions are going to have 4 bases and 6 figures per base. That's basically how I'm doing my Marshals and Generals. And you'll notice that they are, well, first of all, they're Old Glory models. And this is a Fighting 15 flag. All of them are Fighting 15s. And these are this flag is specifically for Verden. And the basing was done just a little bit different. I used this turned earth from Ammo MiG, and it's you can see that it's kind of a gray in the packaging, but my other muds from MiG, they're also gray in the packaging, but when they dry, it dries a lot darker. Well, when you look down at these models or these bases, it doesn't look like, I mean, it did dry a little bit darker, but it's still got that gray appearance to it. And I did all of the Landwehr with that gray, just to keep that brigade kind of uniform. And then I used the microfiber static grass. They call it short fiber static grass from Knock. It's about 1.5 millimeters. And you can see that I put it on about half coverage with the dirt shining through underneath. Now I've considered painting the edges of the bases a different color, mainly like a flat black, to really enhance the edges. But I think these bases from war bases, they come with like a really dark brown burn from the laser, and I think that is a good looking color. It matches most of my ground textures that I put on there. But then again, I've also thought, like all my American War of Independence, I painted black. So I'm thinking that I'm going to paint them, but I'm not going to do black. I was thinking I could do a lighter green, a green that would match my tablecloth, um, because, but I could leave it brown as well. So I'm having a decision. I haven't done any of my Napoleonics after the rebasing. I haven't painted any of the edges because I'm holding off to make a decision on what color I'm going to use. I could use like a really dark brown, but if I'm going to do that, I might as well just leave it laser color. Or I could do a lighter brown, or I could do like like an olive color or a green, like a camouflage green color. Or I could go black or gray or any natural color. I'm not going to paint the edges like red or blue or anything like that. It's all going to be an earth tone, either brown, black, or green. But that's only the front three sides. The back side, I think I'm going to paint the same color, but on one side or the other, I haven't decided. I'm going to paint a color code. Now, this color code is going to be like a three-tone color. So it'll be like red, white, and blue or something like that on there. And I've been thinking that I could paint, I've been thinking this as well. Like on the far left, just painting like a 10 millimeter chunk, maybe even smaller, maybe a 5 millimeter, but I'm thinking 10 millimeter, which would be the divisional color. Give every division in the game or on a side, like every division on the French side or every division on the Allied side, a color. So like Picton's division would have a color, Alton's division would have a color, the Brunswick division would have a color, Perponcher's Dutch Belgians would have a color, things like that. The Nassau would have a color. Well, they're actually part of Perponcher's Dutch Belgians, but each division would have a color. So you could look at the unit and you could see just by looking at the color which division they were a part of. So it'll make doing command and control a lot easier because that division general will have that color around his base. So like if it's Picton, and hypothetically, if Picton's color is red, then I could paint Picton's base red, and then all of his division, every unit in his division will have red. But that's not where it stops. I was thinking that in the middle, or maybe the far right, I haven't decided this yet, painting a color for the brigade commander. Like in this case, it would be Best. So Best would have his own color, whatever it is. It could be red as well, or it could be blue, or it could be green, or whatever. And then putting that on the base. So you would know which brigade this battalion belongs to. Now, I haven't decided if I want to give it a third color or not to represent the battalion that they're in, right? So, like, this Verdun might have like a green, or the Ostrodes might have a black, or the Mundans would have like a black, the Ostrodes might have a gold, or something like that, right? Or a yellow, or whatever. I'm just making colors up. And that way, when you're looking at your figures, you can tell what battalion they're in. But I don't think I'm going to need to do that because first of all, I personally label the bottom of every base, but they're going to be operating together base to base. And so this unit it's never going to have this guy off doing his own thing. So he would need to know like what battalion he's from. These bases are always going to be touching. They might be in different formations, but they're always going to be touching. So I don't think I'm going to need to do an individual battalion color. I just think a division and then a brigade would be all I would need to color. And even then, I don't really need to do the division. I could just do a brigade and then make sure that all the brigade commanders have their own color. But that would be a little more, that would be a lot more colors needed for like a good size core size element. So just imagine the French army at Quatre Bras, which is really just a corps plus some extra guard cavalry. So that corps has 3 infantry divisions and a cavalry division, right? And in those divisions, in every one of those divisions, we're going to call that 4 divisions. In every one of those divisions, there's 2 brigades. So that's 8 brigade commanders just for the Riley's Corps. So I would need to have 8 unique different colors. And as you know, on my wall, I've got tons of colors, but like most of them fall into a category, like all gray or all green or all brown. And if I can't take a light green and a dark green for brigade commanders because it would be too hard or it'd be too easy to get them mixed up on the tabletop. So I would need just a green brigade. I would need a red, a blue, a yellow, and then there's not much more after that, right? I could probably get 5 or 6 different color categories, but then I'm gonna have a lot of duplicates, and that's why I was thinking that I could break those down into divisional colors, because I would only need 4 colors for divisions, and they could be primary colors, like red, green, blue, yellow, and then the brigade commanders, I could have the first one blue, the second one red in every one of my brigades. And that way, if it's a red, it's second brigade. If it's blue, it's first brigade. I haven't decided on the color coding yet, but that's what I'm leaning towards. I'm leaning towards a battalion color and a brigade color. Not a battalion, a division color and a brigade color to break them down. I'm still going to have to decide on what those colors are. All right, let's show you the next battalion. Okay, this next battalion is the Lüneburg Battalion. It's also Old Glory. It's also war bases, ammo, mud, knock, meadow, grass, and the flag is Fighting 15s. Yeah. Now these guys, I noticed that the Hanover Militia, or I'm sorry, Landwehr, are using old British uniforms, and so they're painted up like British. They have stovepipe hats, except their officer, the main officer, is going to have a Belgique shako. And if you look closely, you'll see it's about a 50-50 mix of the British black backpacks and the brown French style fur backpacks. So there's a mixture of backpacks on their backs. Yeah. Um, yeah. Okay. Now that was the Lundberg. Now let me pull up the next one. All right. This next battalion is Osterode, and this battalion actually has a guy kneeling and a guy standing firing. But other than that, they're the exact same models as previous. And if that's the case, then just buy a Peninsula War British infantry and just paint them up as Hanover Landwehr. That's perfectly acceptable. I would presume, you know, because their uniforms are exactly the same. Now, looking down at these bases, I'm the mud is very dark, okay, because of the gray nature of it. Um, and because you put this green grass on top of a dark base, it makes the grass darker, right? It's like painting a model black and then painting a color on top of it. The color is going to be darker. So it's just like that when it comes to the flock of the grass. It's very dark. I also, just so you know, you'll notice some stones on the bases before, as I was dropping the static grass, or right. Okay, so I'll apply a layer of white glue on there, and I won't cover the entire base. I'll just cover about 2/3 of it, and then I'll sprinkle these stones on the base before I sprinkle the grass. So every now and then you'll see a stone on there, um, and that's gives the base a little bit of texture. Now, if I wanted to go later and maybe put some clump foliage on there to give it a little bit of grass, a tall, really small static grass, clump foliage, not clump foliage, tufts, that would be good too. But um, I don't think I need to do that step now. That's part of the as you might know, I have a level 1 paint job, and then I have a level 2 paint job. Level 1 is this. This is a completed unit, ready to go, looks good on the table. You can push it around, you can roll some dice, everything would be great. But level 2 would be like that clump foliage or a tuft. I might go in and really touch up the buttons on the collars and the cuffs. I might, just do some basic touch up work. Maybe the bands that are on the muskets, might paint those. But just for a general gameplay model, I don't normally do that. I just paint it up to about this level. Okay, let me show you the last battalion. Give me a sec. Okay, this last unit is Munden. I really like the flag. It's, black. Um, and this unit also has a guy standing and kneeling. Um, Part of the elite flank company. You got your NCO on the end of the line to help dressing. I got a second base with an officer and a drummer. That is the same in all the battalions. Basically, they all have the same positioning of the extra officer and the NCO on the end. Now, this unit has blue facings as well. One of my battalions, might be the Osteroads, the ones right before this. Yeah, these guys right here, the Osteroids, they actually have green facings. You'll notice the green collars and cuffs. Um, all the other Landveer in this group of four all have blue facings, which that's actually kind of a standard in all the Hanover Landwehr. There's a few that have different colors, like the Lundbergs. No, Osterode. Osterode had the green. Um, the officer and drummer, I on one of the units, I don't remember which one it was. I put the drummer in the front rank with the officer, but going but the other three, I put the drummer in the back behind the officer, mainly because of the way the bases fit on the stand. I needed that extra gap, so I the drummer's got a very small bass, so I put him in the back row. Um, yeah, these guys all look really good. Um, you'll notice that they have uh, the British red and white plumes, even though they're wearing the stovepipes. The elite light companies have green plumes. Um, yeah, and there you go. Now, I don't have, and I did not see where the Hanoverians carried any kind of second standard. They look like they only carry one. Um, and even then, I think they might not have even had a standard at all. But I personally like giving flags to units. It makes the units look more majestic. All right, so Best Brigade is finished. He has the four Landwehr battalions, and he is in Picton's division. Picton has four battalions that I still need to paint. The Royal Scots, the East Essex, Cornwall, and North Gloucester. Once I get those painted, then all of Picton's division will be done. Alton's division is all painted. Cook's division is all painted. And Brunswick is all painted. The Perponcher is lacking the Belgians, which I have no models for in my collection, and they have a couple of battalions of orange. So I need to go ahead and order me up some Dutch Belgian militia and some Belgian line infantry and the Jaegers. So that's going to be pretty cool. I'm going to order those pretty soon, actually. But I'm in no rush because I have a lot of other battalions that have to be done. Okay, so I'm also currently working on the French 2nd Regiment. I have the 3rd Battalion is on the table right there. They need to be rebased. That's 3rd Battalion. My 1st and 2nd Battalion are already, but there's my 1st and 2nd Battalions. They are primed, and then their greatcoats have colors, and that's all I've done. I've only done their greatcoats. So, and I think I could knock these out in probably 2 days. So, hopefully, in the next couple of days, you'll see the 2nd Infantry Regiment completed. The French, I have all the miniatures except for the chasseurs. The guard chasseurs, I don't have any miniatures for them. But well, actually, I have a handful of miniatures for them. I don't have the majority that I need. I need 2 battalions worth, so I need 24 figures. All right. So the second video is going to be talking about marshals and generals, and I'm going to go over the rules as they stand right now, um, kind of as a heads up to the players. It's really just like a developer blog, just letting you know where we stand with our Marshals and Generals rule set. All right. If you have any miniatures that you need painted, or if you're looking for painted miniatures, go to my eBay store. I've got models and miniatures and rule books, and I've got painted and unpainted models, and 15 millimeter, 28 millimeter. I got World War II tanks, Napoleonics, American War of Independence, Civil War, Romans, Gaul, Carthaginians, all kinds of figures. You should go on there, check that out at this address right here. That's my eBay store. But also, if you have a commission, like if you've got some figures that need to be painted, I would be glad to paint them for you. Just contact me, and I would be glad to do that. I currently have a customer that's getting ready to send me the Warlord Games Epic Civil War box set, and I'm going to paint those up for him over time. He doesn't want it done all at once because finances, he can't afford the whole box to be painted all at once. So he wants me to break it up. And what would be really good about that is I could paint a little bit of his stuff, and then I could paint your stuff. And then I could paint some of his stuff, and then I can paint the next person's stuff or whatever. So that'll help me break it up for him. But it'll also give me a little bit of opportunity to paint for you as a customer. And just drop me a message either on eBay or in the personal message section, because I check that every single day. Or you could drop me an email at this address right here. I check that about once a week, to be honest. It's not I try to check it. I try to check it all the time, but I'm getting hundreds and hundreds of emails every day. And maybe not every day, hundreds of emails every week. And it's hard for me to keep up with my email, to be honest. And then I also have an X, which right here on my Twitter is located right here. And I try to post about once a week on there. So if you follow me there, you'll see some videos, or you'll see some project updates or whatever. All right, so that's it. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel so that you'll be notified whenever I go live, or if I ever upload any more videos. And we have a Skyrim playthrough that I'm playing every night if you want to watch live. I'm also taking donations. I have a goal right now of $32 super chats. If I can get $32 super chats, then I will pick up Oblivion Remastered. But until then, I'm just going to wait for a sale. All right, that was all I had to say. And thank you for coming out and checking out this project update. And I'll catch you in the next one.